Good morning children, all present here. I'm Ramya Devi, working as Assistant Professor in SNS College of Engineering. So followed by the HTTP request, we will see HTTP response message which is coming back from your web server to the web client. So consider the figure. So where the server is sending a HTTP response message back to the client. So here once the HTTP request is received from your web server, so it will process the request and it will again send back the HTTP reply to the client. So this is an HTTP reply, and through internet it is connecting to your HTTP to the host which is running a web browser, and it is getting the back your HTTP response to the web browser. So here the HTTP response message consists of first field is your header field, so in which it has the HTTP /1.1, which is the version of your HTTP, and 200 and then OK. So 200 is an status code which tells that the success of your HTTP response, that your HTTP request has been successfully processed in your web server and it is sending back to your HTTP to your web client where you have sent your HTTP request. And then OK is the message which is stating the success message. Here the date, the information, the date and timestamp, where in which date it has been sent, and the timestamp, and then the server in which we have used, and last modified the e tag, content length, and how much seconds your packet should be alive in the internet, and whether the connection is alive or not, and the content type, whether it is an image or it is an video or audio. So the content type of your HTTP message. So this is the structure of the response. So first we have a status line, and then the header field, blank line, and then the message body. Here the status line describes a numeric status code indicating the type of response and a text string. So here the 1 is the informational. It provides information to the client before request processing has been completed. 2 is to success. Request has been successfully processed. 3 is redirecting your HTTP request to some other server, and then 4th is the client error, so client's request is not valid, and 5th is the server error. An error occurred during processing your HTTP request in your web server. So this is the common status code. Like 200 means it's okay, your request process is normally. 301, it's your URL which you are identifying is moved permanently in the internet, and 307 is temporary redirect. 401 is an unauthorized access. 403 is forbidden. 404 is not found, and 500 is internet server error. This is the structure of the response. Here in the first line we have an HTTP version, and then the status code, and the success message, and after that the date at which the response was generated, used for cache control. This field must be supplied by the server, and then the server information identifying the server software generating the response, and last modified gives the time at which the resource returned by this request was last modified, can be used to determine whether cached copy of a resource is valid or not, and expires, time at which after the client should check whether the server before retrieving the returned resource from the client's cache, and e tag, a hash code of the resource returned. If the resource remains unchanged on subsequent request, then the e tag value will also remain unchanged, otherwise the e tag value will change, used for cache control. And accept ranges, clients can request that only a portion of a resource be written by using the range header field. This might be used if the resource is, say, a large PDF file and only a single page is currently needed. Accept ranges specifies the units that may be used by the client in a range request, or none if the range requests are not accepted by the server for this resource. Location used in responses with the redirect status code to specify new URI for the requested resources. Apart from the connection, the content type and the content length header fields are some common response header fields. So a client caching is an important thing in your server side. A cache is a local copy of information obtained from some other source, and most web browsers use cache to store requested resources so that subsequent requests to the same resource will not necessarily require a HTTP request or response. For example, if you have an icon appearing multiple times in a web page, so first the server will see the client will see the client caching. If it is available in the cache, it will retrieve from that, otherwise only it will go to the server for communication. Thank you.